first football memory was going to a game with my dad. Dad was playing football with my mum and my dad. Yeah, I used to play on a Saturday for a team called Wagners. I went there, I must have been a very vague memory, 5 or 6 maybe, and I kept trying to grab the flag from one of his mates who was doing the line, and I remember they kept telling me I couldn't touch it. That was my first football memory. It's Man United. Most people from London supported Man United at that age, in the 90s obviously, because they were so good. I loved Beckham, and yeah, that was my first team. My dad's a Spurs fan, so he tried to make me support Spurs, but once I started watching the telly and United run every week, it was Man United. So I think the first professional game, I'm sure Blackburn were involved. It was Charlton against Blackburn at the Valley, but I don't really remember that. So the first one I always remember is I went to the old Wembley, England versus Ukraine. They won 2-0, Robbie Fowler and Tony Adams scored, and it was the game before they lost to Germany 1-0, and then it got knocked down, yeah. And we missed the start because there was delays on the tube, so we missed the start, missed the national anthems and that. So yeah, that was the first one I really remember. I think it was a Tottenham one with Pony on the front. I'm pretty sure it's that one, white one. That was my dad trying to make me a Tottenham fan. I had the whole kit. So yeah, that was the first shirt, and I've still got it. A pair of Nike. Hard to explain. I've tried to actually Google them and find them. You can't find them anywhere. They was black with like a brown stripe down the side. Andy Cole used to wear them. And that was the first pair of boots I wore. My mum and dad have kept all my shirts, all my boots. There's like 3 suitcases worth in the loft at my mum's house. We had it out a couple of years ago, actually, looking at all the shirts. Got hundreds, every boots, everything, and then obviously the boots I get now, I just kind of pass them down to my dad's got some. All my mates have kitted out in all the boots, so yeah, it's nice to do that for them. It kind of changed over the years. Beckham was kind of my idol, and then that turned into Rooney. I actually loved Andy Cole as well. I had videos of Andy Cole because he obviously used to score loads of goals. But overall, Steven Gerrard was my kind of player I looked up to the most. Loved the way he played, and that was hard for me to say that even as a United fan, but I used to love watching him. So yeah, Stevie G. A team called Teviot Rangers in Plumstead, round the corner. Yeah, I was 6, 7, under 7s it was. They was just down the road, and I said, "Oh, Dad, can I go and train?" So he took me down there in the first session. I remember I hated it, didn't want to go back, and he was like, "Go back." So I went back, and then ended up loving it. I remember the first game actually. We played a team against a team called Fleet Down. They played in Orange, and back then you used to play on a Sunday 2 games. And I remember the first game I ever played, I scored 5. We won 5-0, and their manager said to my dad, can he not play the next game? And so he didn't play me for the second game. So we only stayed there a couple of months, and I ended up going to another team, but a year older, Thamesmead Town. So that's class as like my first real club. At that age, yeah, I was 7. I got scouted by Wimbledon, the old Wimbledon, a guy called Tony Craig. Give my dad a card, took me down to training at Cold Harbour Leisure Centre, it was, in South London. Trained there for a year, and then at the end of that year, the academy started the next season. So there was trials like there was all these centres set up from Wimbledon, and I was the only one from South London to actually get into the academy. Most of the boys are from Surrey, and that was tough for my mum and dad, I think, because we trained over in Esher, which from South London's a long way. It's around the M25. It used to take us about an hour 20 to get there. So they'd done that for a year, and then Wimbledon folded, become MK Dons. They asked us to go up there, but obviously it was too far at that age. So I had a few clubs who asked me to come and play for them. All the London clubs really. Charlton, West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Millwall, Fulham. and then we chose Charlton because it was the closest one to home. It was 2012-13 season, which sounds not long ago now, but it was quite a long time ago, 8 years ago. It was a League Cup game. The season started that year with a League Cup game on a Tuesday night, and it was Bristol City away. They was in the Champ at the time, and we was in League Two with Gillingham. And I come on for the last 25 minutes, and we won 2-1 at Ashton Gate. So yeah, it was a good debut. My dad, don't get too high on the highs, don't get too low on the lows, and I kind of try and stick by that. I think getting promoted, 100%. Getting promoted from League One, that whole season was probably my best memory. It was just great to be involved in it. A massive club like Rovers. Yeah, it was brilliant. And then probably on a personal note, always found it nice to kind of receive the awards for League One Player of the Year, the 2 times I've done it, and getting into the AFL Teams of the Year. They're good memories.